Hi everyone, I'm Cindy and welcome to my channel. Yes, I live in New York City, and yes, I call them gangster squirrels. Not gangster, gangsta squirrels. A situation happened to me several years ago when I was working at the hospital. I was having lunch in the park not far from the hospital. It was a parfait about this size, topped off with granola and fruit on top. So I'm there eating it. And I think to the right of me, there was a lady with a carriage, and to the left of me, there was a couple of people there chatting away. So I'm there minding my own business. I'm having my parfait. And all of a sudden, like, this one squirrel comes, like, I would say 4 feet away. And another squirrel comes soon after. And they were staring down at me. It's like they had these squirrels have expressions, I swear. And they were like, surrender that strawberry. If they had like little guns and they're like, surrender that strawberry now. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving up anything. Meanwhile, the lady in the carriage is seeing this and she's laughing, and the people are, it's like, it's comical. This is something straight out of Saturday Night Live. So I had that episode. After a while, they gave up. A couple, but they were like, there was no blinking, nothing. They were just like, give me that. They had that stare. Give me that. It's like, can't make this stuff up. So, the other day, I was in the park in my neighborhood, and again, minding my own business, and I hear this crunching sound, like loud crunching sound, my right side of my ear. And I turn, and it's this guy. I managed to get a picture of him. It's this guy, this squirrel, and he's looking at me like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? That's that look in his face. You see, that's why I call them gangsta squirrels, because it's just amazing. There he is chopping away at this nut, and it's like, yeah, what are you looking at? So I decided to do a watercolor of this gangsta squirrel. This is my first attempt. I never did this. Trust me, I never did this. I've done pet portraits, which I really enjoy, but I never did a squirrel, especially staring at me like that. Look at that eye. He's like, what are you doing? So come with me and see how I do. So here is the gangsta squirrel. And what I've done was I've traced them. I have a little light box, and I traced them over with tracing paper. And I use a black gel pen. And then what I did was I put it in my block. I'm using the Academy 100% cotton watercolor paper block. It's sealed and all, 4 sides, except for this little slit on top. So what I did was, after I traced him, I have some graphite paper that I bought from Amazon. I think it came in 20 sheets for under $10. I think it was like $7.95. So I used that. Well, first I position him. That's why I have these lines. Position him in the block. And then from there, I have a little tape there. And then from there, I just traced it with this, putting the graphite paper underneath the tracing paper. And I have this mechanical pencil, but with the lead all the way down, so it doesn't cause doesn't leave a mark here. So I just traced them. And that's the end result. I don't know if you can see this, but it's very faint. So that's how I did that. The colors I will use, since it looks like he's a gray-brown squirrel, what I will use, I think, is I'm going to use yellow ochre right here. I think that's good. Burnt sienna, brown, and coal black. This is coming from the Paul Rubens half pan professional watercolor set, which is right here. I'm going to be using this. So let's get started. So this is cold press paper, in case I didn't say it before. So what I've done was I've put some yellow ochre and in a pan, in a palette. I have mixed some yellow ochre with a little bit of brown in this area, gray wash here. So those are the colors that I will use for our little friend here. And I think what I would do, the first thing I would do is to get a nice fluffy tail. I'll work on the tail first, is to first use wet on wet technique on this. So there you have it. Okay. Ooh, this is nice. This works very well. See, it creates like a fluffiness. It looks like a little fluffy little, the makings of a fluffy little tail anyway. It's just a light wash. I think what I would do is and there's also little bits here. I think what I would do is see if I can mop this up. Okay, good. Okay, good. Let's see if I can do it. Using the photograph as my reference. Using a number 6 round brush. The city is active today. See, I didn't want to get that. I didn't want to get the blooms. I'm not using wet on wet actually. So it looks like this is a little bit on the gray side. Doing a light gray wash. Okay. As another wash. That might be a little too much. Okay, number 2. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Hint of yellow ochre there. Hint of yellow ochre in the face area. I'm looking at the photograph as reference. Okay. Actually, it looks like he's a little gray up there, so I'm going to use some of the gray wash. He's very dark up there, actually. Actually, some here too. Looks like it's another wash there. I think I'll do this darker yellow ochre, which is actually around here. Looks like it's right under. Gonna give this definition. This is darker since it's under his arm. I'm gonna give this definition. I want this to be loose, not too detailed, but I do want to do his face as a detail. So I think it's so important. me just do his little nose. Too much water. Okay.
Dark.
I think I'll go and switch to a smaller brush to do the eyes. The eye, rather. Just one eye. Going to use probably the ears actually look like they're reddish. I think he's burnt umber for the little nut here that he's chomping on. So I might continue to work on him a little bit more, but this is pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is, right now I'm going to focus on the chair that he's sitting on. And it's in the turquoise family. So let's do that. Working on the light first. a light turquoise. Still using the number 6 brush. Excuse the arm. Now there's shadows cast in the chair, so I'm gonna see if I can replicate that. Gonna try, is my main goal. So now I'm going to focus on the leaves on top. So I'll probably use sap green, probably use sap hooker green, and possibly tree green, these two. There is no sap green in this palette. I just realized. Okay. So there we have it. Our Gangsta squirrel. I tried to make it as loose as possible, but then I found myself doing a little bit on the details. I think for the most part it came out okay. I mean, I'm trying to simulate the texture of the gravel here. And this blue-gray kind of look. So here it is, New York City Gangsta squirrel. Who knows, I might make a series out of this. So we have all kinds of squirrels in the park and they all have their personalities. I'll try to capture them and paint them. I hope you enjoyed this episode. On to the next one.